In this video, we're going to go over how to use an acrylic painting to create an observational painting. So start by picking your objects. You should have done this already when you've done your contour line drawing. And you're going to want to sort out your composition by doing the drawing and then trace it onto a thicker paper. I would suggest a cardstock for painting on paper. Once you've traced it carefully onto the better paper, you will have a copy that you can paint onto and modify. The first thing you want to do is prepare your work area. It's really helpful when painting on paper to tape down using some masking tape to ensure that your paper doesn't curve too much and doesn't warp as you're working on it. Once the area is taped down, when you're working with acrylic paint, you should always start with the background. Because acrylic paint layers very well, starting with the background first will ensure that the objects in the foreground, the front of the image, stick out the most. You always want to go background, middle ground, and then foreground. So I've started by painting in the table and giving a general idea of where the highlights and shadows are, but I'm not going into too much detail at this point. After that, I'll move on to the wall in the background. Now that I have the background built in, I want to start working on the middle ground because I'm going to keep working from the back to the foreground. So my middle ground is the furthest bottle in the back, the turquoise one. So I want to build that one up first. Get it as accurate as possible, layering the colors to create both my values and my shadows. I'm starting with the middle value within the bottle, so just the base turquoise. And then I'll be applying highlights and shadows to give further definition and create an image that looks more three-dimensional. To create my highlights, I've used some white blended in with my original turquoise. And then to create my shadows, I'm going to be using a variety of colors, including greens and dark blues. It's really important when doing any sort of observational drawing or painting to focus in on the various details. You can see how I did that with the top of the turquoise bottle, and I'm now going to do that with the bottom of the purple glass bottle. The bottom section, the purple color doesn't extend into, and so I have to replicate the effect of a slightly tinted green glass. And so I do that by layering in a variety of colors, including a buff titanium instead of a pure white, which makes the effect of the paper of the table shining through the glass. Build up layers and textures to create the surface of that bottle to give the impression of what it would feel like if you were to run your hands along the bottom of that glass bottle. It's really important as you apply values to also pay attention to any reflections. Here I've put some of the purple color reflecting onto the turquoise because there's a deeper shadow that's affected by the purple color next to it. I'm going to do the same thing as I work on the silver can, making sure that I'm catching the different colors that are reflected onto it. But it's not just onto naturally reflective materials like something that's a shiny silver metal can, but also onto that matte turquoise bottle or to the purple glass bottle. There's still reflections. So you can see in the image the reflection of the tin can on the purple bottle and the bits of purple that spread onto the turquoise bottle. Once you've completed every layer of your image, you're going to be able to go in and start adding in the details. One of the benefits of acrylic paint is that it dries incredibly fast, within 5 to 10 minutes. So once you get in all the general shapes and colors everywhere they need to go, you can go ahead and grab a very thin brush to go back and apply details all over the image.